Okay, ready to put your microphones on? Okay, let's call the meeting to order. Cemetery Committee, November 16th. Anyone have any questions with the minutes, the last meeting? Take a motion?
I make a motion to accept them as written.
Second.
All those in favor? All those opposed? So voted. On those minutes last time, we had a number of discussions. One of the things was Marlene was gonna check into residency requirements. And you were able to get some information from Bill Kelly?
Yes.
You want a microphone?
He, said to refer back to, what the state has for what their requirements are. And the state basically has a listing of what would qualify you.
For residency
For
requirements.
residency
Right, but the town charter,
Oh,
he
the
found,
town
he
charter.
found that the town charter,
Yes, he found that it does state that you do have to be a resident.
okay?
I'm not entirely sure of this.
Okay.
Well, I'm just
I
wondering,
have, the charter where it
Yeah,
states that.
but I think, but first of all, the cemetery association, what is the legal status of this group?
It's because they
Is it-
appoint them,
Yeah,
that's why, they're
Because-
appointed.
we're appointed by the select board.
Yeah, but we appoint other members of other committees, and there's no residency required. So
If-
maybe there is a residency requirement, you've never looked into it.
No, we do, because the question comes up often for planning board, for zoning board.
Yeah, and
There's-
it's pretty clear in the,
But it doesn't
Chart.
say cemetery, does
no,
it?
but, no,
I checked with Janet, and the planning board, is a town board, and they all have to be residents of the town. The Mogunticook Dam Committee is not, so they can be of any, is their own, the town doesn't really have that committee, it's like their own
Yeah.
committee. So they can have who they want on there. But the other town boards and committees that the select board appoint is resident requirement.
okay,
That's
So
it?
you can't move Chip, that's it.
okay. Anything else on those minutes we need to talk about other than the bylaws? We looked at the Oak Hill Cemetery bylaws, we were all given copies of that, to go ahead and look at, see what we might want to do with corner markers. Anyone have a chance to review those bylaws, any other potential changes?
I've given this an awful lot of thought because I'm the one that wanted to put them out there when Bruce said that they wasn't allowed. And I have myself, even though I'd like to put them around my cemetery a lot out there, very mixed emotions on this. Because as I walk through the cemetery, there is things sticking up here and sticking up there that the lawnmowers have to take care of. You can see where they've been chipped and so forth. And unless we were thinking about lowering them in the ground, doing something different, I don't know that it is a good idea.
Okay.
I love them in Augusta, they look beautiful.
Okay.
I was gonna bring some pictures in from Augusta, and then I said, no, I don't know as it's a smart thing for us to do.
Okay. And, well, we looked at, Marlene did a little research and looked at what other towns did. She included, is that in the packet, Marlene?
It was, not in this package.
No, not in the packet, but it was, went down through Thomaston, not allowed. Hope doesn't have any regulations. Belfast are allowed, but approved and installed by the superintendent. Rockport has no regulations. Rockland allows corner markers based on lot size, no written regulations. Augusta are allowed, no regulations. Damascotta, cornerstones must be flush to the ground and only permitted on 8x10 lots or larger. So, I mean, they're all over the place, and there again, I think it's, I agree, it's potential mowing hazard, or, but, damage to the mowers,
Yeah,
but
damage to the lawn.
there again, it's, if they're installed properly and low enough, should skip right over them, but, so what's the wish? To do further research on changing the bylaws, or?
Make a motion, we leave it like it is for now.
I had a question
Yeah.
about Article 13. The second sentence. I think that's where I just saw it. Burial subject, third line. Burials will be subject to a monetary weather assessment.
If necessary.
A monetary?
The cost of maybe opening up the site to do the burial or opening up the
And
road.
a few times, I know that they have done burials in the winter,
Okay.
where the cost to plow,
Saying,
to plow, sand, and to jackhammer through the frost was borne by the person.
I was just kind of curious to see, I thought you covered it with the December 15th or earlier, depending on weather and
Yeah,
April. I
but
thought
there
you
have
covered
been
it.
circumstances where, I know, I jackhammered it.
You what?
I plowed it and I jackhammered.
Good for you.
Yeah, so, but that's it.
Okay,
And-
just wanted to make sure I understood.
So-
it, so.
Did everyone have a chance to review the rest of the bylaws on Mountain View too? To see if there's anything we want to change?
Did I put Mountain View in there?
Not in the packet, not in the packet, but you emailed it, right?
I think I did email Mountain View, but I didn't bring it today for the packet.
Yep.
but I'm just
Nope.
gonna concentrate on one side.
No, perfect, and I went through it a couple times. There's really nothing needs to be changed, that I think right now. But I think it's good that we review the bylaws on a regular basis, every couple of years, just to see if there is anything that we need to look at, so.
I have a question. On Article 4, it says the fees for opening all graves shall be established by the cemetery board. Who's the cemetery board?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, but it doesn't say that anywhere. It doesn't say that anywhere.
That's the only
In-
thing
in the
we've ever been
bylaws.
known by.
Yeah, we're the cemetery board. We were appointed by the select board. We're members of the cemetery association.
Okay, so cemetery association and cemetery board are the same thing?
Correct.
Okay.
In the cemetery
It's just
committee,
not
or
spelled out
cemetery committee,
anywhere.
so.
Okay. I mean, if you're gonna review that, I would
Yeah.
just put it in there so that at one point.
Okay,
Question.
Sure.
Is there a good reason for the 3 different suffixes? Association, board, committee, which one are we? And why do we appear 3 different ways?
probably just, it happened over time.
Is it worth fixing?
At some point possibly, I wouldn't go ahead and change the bylaws just for that, but,
No, but as part of
yeah,
you know.
there's a rewrite, yeah.
And, you know, if it appears in other town things
Yeah.
as a committee
Yeah.
when we're an association.
Could ask your legal counsel what they feel too.
My brother-in-law is in Western Maine, I don't have legal counsel.
No, I'm saying, we could ask legal counsel.
Oh, yeah,
I think it's pretty simple, it's
Yeah,
just,
yeah.
you're the Camden Cemetery Association and
We're the
you're the
board.
board
Yeah,
members.
yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it needs to be stipulated
Yeah.
somewhere.
Yeah.
And we can stop using one of those three. We can use association and board, I think it's, or committee and board. It's completely fine.
Okay. Anybody else have anything,
We
non-agenda
did have the
items?
thing about the bushes between the rocks on the
Yeah, we
north
talked about
side.
that.
that we kinda, everybody's gonna look them over, and
Yep.
I think they should go.
And-
For mowing purposes, for maintenance purposes, half of them are dead, we either gotta put them back in right,
Yep.
or do away with them. Now, they're a mowing problem, so the best thing, in my eyes, would be to do away with them. No one's gonna drive a car between them, but the lawnmower can go between them.
Lawnmower would fit.
Look at the smile I'm bringing over here. Really, it's a maintenance problem, and they have to weed whack around them.
Why don't we take them out and see how it goes? And
I
if we
think
don't
that's
like
a
'em,
good
We always
idea.
can replace them.
Yep.
But there are half of them are dead, they're a mess.
Yeah.
Like you say, Bob, let's replace them, see how it goes on the mowing end. If you like it, then say to us, it's working great, leave them alone. If not,
Okay, when in doubt,
Yeah,
take it
all those in
out.
favor? Okay,
Can we pull them out in the spring, not now? And
That's
can
a
they
good
go
idea.
somewhere else in the town? I know you probably, you know.
today would be
I
a
don't
great
know.
day to put,
You want 'em
tomorrow would be a
in
great
there,
day to put
they're
this off.
dead.
I mean, it's,
They're
Well,
dead.
some of, yeah, most of them are, but there's some still living, you know. Give them away, I don't care. Yeah.
Anybody would want 'em.
Well, there you go,
is
yeah.
that something Parks and Rec can take care of?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Did someone motion to do that?
Bob, Bob kind of did.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'll make a motion, we do that.
I'll second it.
all those in favor? All those opposed, so voted. Okay,
I got a quick, on the bylaws, Article 13, that same one. And I'm assuming if it was a problem that the sexton would have told us, all bodies must be removed from the tomb by May 31st. Is there any sort of additional refrigeration? Is that place just, so it was just a curiosity as weather patterns move around. Is that, I mean, I'm assuming there's not too many remains staying in there for too long, but
No.
it's just something to be aware of.
Yeah.
I bet that date was set back in the day when things stayed colder for a bit longer.
yeah, and it's, yeah, usually if there's a issue, it comes to
Yeah.
everyone's attention pretty quick.
What, can I ask you a question? I mean,
Yeah.
this is, I'm a fish out of water here, but what do people do when the remains are removed? Where,
They bury it, but,
somewhere else?
no,
Well, they're
here,
not buried, this is just the tomb.
Oh, it's like a temp, I
It's-
see.
Tomb.
It's the tomb up there.
It's
I
to
see.
store them during the winter months.
It's a repository until we can bury them. I get it.
spring, yeah.
Thank you, I was like,
Yeah.
this is, making us some strange. Thank you.
Yep. Okay. Randy, any update on the cleaning?
It's about done for the season. We're down close to the tomb at this point. I don't have an exact date. I put a call in, but didn't get a reply back as far as exactly his timing at this point. There was questions at the last meeting about cleaning stones.
Yep.
And I'm gonna read some of this verbatim. 50 years ago, when I started in the monument business, I was told that when you apply acid to a monument, especially a black one, that you start at the bottom and work your way up, and don't let the acid dry on the monument. I've been applying the acid the way I am now for the last 22 years. The longer the acid sits on the stone, the easier it is to clean, mostly because the dew on the overnight moistens the acid and makes it work better. The only thing I can think of is that they use different types of acid, or that they use too much acid in their ratio of acid to water. And then he did a follow-up, and he said, "I'd appreciate if members of the cemetery committee would stop harassing my guys. It makes them feel unappreciated and is bad for their morale. If anyone has concerns, they should contact me. I almost think that some on the cemetery committee are conspiring against me in hopes that I'll quit the job."
That's from the guy that's cleaning the stone?
That's from the company.
I wonder who.
I haven't been in there at all. No. I mean, I never knew.
Looked, but nobody was up there, period, when I went and looked.
I stopped in once and had what I thought was a great conversation
Yeah.
with the gentleman there, and then called Chip, and I thought we were gonna close the loop on it. It really was a good conversation, I thought.
I'm just reading the email.
Yeah. I mean, at least he responded to you finally. I mean, it was,
Well, I've talked to him on the phone, I've talked to his guys personally, and his guys also stated the same thing. The ratio, or whatever that you read off the bag.
Yeah.
Is a recommendation. He says, we don't use that ratio. And he said, I can tell you right now. And he says, we do tens of thousands of stones a year. He says, I think we've got a pretty good handle after the amount of years. Those guys have been working for 15 to 20 years up there.
Do we know the environmental impact of the acid?
It's gonna kill all the fish in the McGonagall
No,
River.
no,
I should get out there, sorry. That's only a joke, I'm sorry.
Don't say that.
this is Sophie. No, but I'm curious, you know, because it's acid, right?
it's a mild acid.
Yeah.
I mean, it's,
But is there documentation on the
Do you use,
environment?
do you use vinegar on your salad at home?
I do,
That's basically the same.
right, but maybe not the same quantities or, I'm
Not
just
as-
asking,
not
I
as
mean,
what?
it's
No,
not.
no, no.
It's not a criticism,
No, I
it's
didn't hear,
really.
no, I just didn't
No,
hear
no,
your
I'm-
last statement. Not as what?
So I don't know how corrosive, or I don't know what it does to the soil, the earth, whatever, do we,
You
Kill the
have,
grass around it?
huh?
Does it kill
Kill
the
the
grass
grass, does
around
it-
it?
I didn't see any
Oh,
kill
I'm
grass.
just
I'm
wondering.
just,
No,
it's really
No,
an open.
they wet the ground around them,
Right,
and I haven't seen any burning. I don't know if you've seen any,
nothing, okay.
so it's mild,
Okay,
yeah, is all I can say.
I'm curious, I'm not condemning it, right? It's just,
And I would suggest if you were really concerned, you could get the MDS sheets and read the MDS sheets if there was a toxicology or any other issues
Should have those-
pertaining to that.
yeah,
Jeff?
They probably should have those on site.
on site.
Well, I'm saying, yeah, but I
Probably
mean,
do.
but she's asking me, I don't have that answer, so I'd say I would refer to the MDS sheet. I
Okay.
don't know that those numbers off the top of my head. So.
What kind of acid do they call it?
it's, I had a picture of it,
Oh,
way back.
oh, wait.
It comes in crystal form.
Oh, and they wet it.
That's how you can get the ratio off. The wetting agent is water.
And I don't.
Well, a lot of people use vinegar to kill their weeds, don't they?
It's not.
Look, I'm
It's
just, I'm
not.
I'm really,
This
I'm
was
really trying to
burning
understand
rifles.
what we're using.
Nice.
And
Yeah.
if we're using something that has an ecological impact, maybe we should try to use something else. But if it doesn't, then it's fine. It's really trying to understand what we do, not an attack.
Oh, no, that's fine. I just
I
can't,
growl.
I can't answer your
I know.
question 100%.
If I'm gonna attack, I'm gonna growl
would-
first, you'll know.
Here's my, so, because I've applied this stuff quite a few times, and if you were to take a much concentrated, like your bucket, or whatever it is that you're applying it with, and you dump that in one concentrated area, I could see burning the grass in that area. One of the things about cemeteries is you're trying to apply as little as possible.
Right.
And you're also doing it on this stone, which is 3 to 5 feet from another stone,
Right.
which is 2 to 3 feet from this stone. And then the cleaning process all involves water. So it is a very minimally, but like as with anything, it's hard to say there's no impact,
Right. But we would see it if the grass would be burned, if you could plant.
And that's a common thing that people would ask, and so I've tried to keep a lookout, and I can't really see
Right.
anything from that.
I think just having this information handy, if other people ask, it's just, knowledge is important, that's all. Cool.
And when I stopped in and talked with that gentleman, one thing that was really interesting was there was a lot of things that I thought were great. One thing he said was, I told, whoever I talked with at the Cemetery Association, if they see anything that we're not doing, they see something that they want, fixed, stop in, because it's Camden, we know it's Camden, we know that this is, a cemetery of prominence. So it was just interesting but it falls in line with the other thing the guy said, which was, you know, he felt that he maybe didn't have a clear understanding of exactly what the contract specifications were, because it's, you know.
Oh, you found it.
The contract is between his boss, the owner of the company. The boss sends his people out and gives them instructions what to do. I can't imagine the workers would know what the contract states.
And the reason that I think that it's worth discussing a bit more is there are, I think, cemeteries where I could envision a really easy kind of, you don't have to specify exactly how everything is done and you just clean it. Where there's cleaning and the restoration efforts as well. One of the things that I observed was a stone that was set into concrete with half of the last lettering in the concrete. And I asked about why, you know, why that versus repairing this bottom portion and then it's lifted up higher. And he said, it's just, this is what, you know, as long as there's some lettering and there's, you know, enough of it, then we set it into the concrete. And so for all kinds of different reasons, I guess I would prefer that, using that stone specifically as an example, that more resources were put into fixing it versus just resetting it into concrete. And that was a good example of where he agreed with everything as we were talking it out, but he didn't feel that that's what was being asked of him. And so that's where I think some of the confusion might be. Does that make sense?
It makes sense the way you're relaying it. I wasn't there to hear the conversation, so I'm not gonna interject
How he might have taken it.
how any of the
Right.
conversation went, I'm sorry.
Right.
I can't respond to that.
And so what I had, well, the first thing that I did was explain to him how a committee or an association works and that I'm just one member, and so I'm here trying to better understand, and I'm not asking anyone to do anything. As we went and kind of looked over the ones that, or the areas that would be worked on next, it was like, hey, who's your cemetery association liaison? Like, if you're looking at a stone and it's like a 2-day fix, 3-day fix job, or it's a 1-day reset, like, who helps you make that determination with that specific stone? And so those type of things, I think, would be really helpful for the workers, because what he was saying was his boss had an agreement with someone from the association, and then his boss told him what to do, and then I talked with someone who had talked with his boss at the association, and then when I talked with him, though, it's like a telephone, it's like a chain thing, you know, like these two people understand, then this person and that person understand, and that person and this person don't understand. When you take this person and bring them around over onto this end, doesn't make any sense. And that's what he had said, was he felt that there was a disconnect between maybe how members of the association that weren't more involved with it, like you were, and someone like him doing that work. And that's why I thought it was a great conversation, because he said, look, I'm in no position to tell you you've done anything wrong, because this could be exactly how you thought that it should be. And, you know, he acknowledged that you can repair these things different ways, and I acknowledge that this is a different way of doing it as well. And so it's making a determination on whether the additional time and resources on that particular stone are worthwhile. And I don't know how we come up with a good process on doing that, or if we do that at all. Do we just rely on their professional judgment? Though I will say I have concerns with them sending that stone into concrete. It's just not.
Yeah, and I think we need to do, we'll have to do a walkthrough when they get, before they finish. I think just prior to them finishing, we ought to sometime.
I think they're close
Yeah.
at this point, for the season especially.
Yeah, I mean, that we want to do it before we get snow on the ground, so at least we can release payment or whatever.
Can we do it before they continue to do work that is very difficult to undo? Because every stone they set in,
Yeah.
the way that
Yeah.
that
And I saw that stone too.
And I'm not saying that what they've done was wrong, you know, it is a way of recognizing the bulk of everything's captured in there. And the kicker is this, it's the weed whackers and the lawn mowers, right? And so even though that saved a bunch of time by setting that in there, if they had taken the time to rebuild that bottom 7 inches, that gives that stone, because now the weed whacking and mower line is now above the lettering. That's where it's gonna snap next. And they didn't set it above grade, so there's the moisture stuff and all
Not
that.
knowing how much got broken off the stone, I can't say how much they're gonna rebuild, what you're gonna rebuild with, whether that bottom section crumbled. There are so many variables.
I was looking at it, I
I'm
can
just
tell
saying,
ya.
I don't know, so it's very difficult to sit here. If you want them to stop every stone, reach out to their boss, have their boss contact the committee, that can be done. It's gonna cost the committee a lot more money, I think, in the long run.
What is happening right now is micromanaging. We manage condominiums, and we're getting micromanaging now that's unbelievable, enough so that we're leaving some of them. We're not gonna work for them.
But, you know, I think
That's
overall,
what's happened up there.
I think that-
I'd like to know where this stone is located that you're referring to.
Up on the road, back into that first kind of line, old section, 3/4 of the way close to the tomb. Stand-up marble, one of the standard.
I
just like-
saw that too. Yeah.
Close to Barbara Dyer's area, I think,
Yeah.
if I'm
We,
not
we, we do a walkthrough. I mean, I think we ought to do is, I don't know, anyone got any time next week?
Next week?
24 hours a day.
It's Thanksgiving next week, can you believe it?
Yeah.
Yeah, what about Thanksgiving, just
It's a
for
great
dinner?
day to do it, exactly, after the turkey, digestive
Oh,
walk.
Before we light the star.
Yeah. Oh, early in the week. That'll be that the following week.
Well, if they're taking a chance of snow and all
I
that.
was gonna say, we're running on borrowed time.
Let's set a time we can meet up there.
Okay.
Is there a copy of the contract that was signed?
Yep.
6:30 in the morning.
Can
it's
it be
light out.
given to us, please, so we can look at it?
Send it again.
Okay? 'Cause, I mean, how much longer have they got on this contract? Or is it open-ended?
It's open, the time is open-ended. We didn't put a finish date on it. So
Okay.
if they don't finish everything
No.
this fall, they'll be back in the spring.
So it'd probably be incumbent on us to take a look at that contract and see what's in there. And, you know,
Yeah,
probably
it's pretty,
Randy and you
pretty,
know.
pretty simple.
It's probably pretty simple. So if we want to,
It's just an
you
agreement.
know, make an addendum to it, you know, to alleviate,
No, I mean, I think we're far enough along that it's almost done.
General consensus is.
oh,
this
no,
guy's
it's not,
gonna-
the
Yeah.
place isn't almost done. They've only done what, 2, 3 sections? I mean, a lot
Well,
more
no,
than that.
with what they gave us price on.
Yeah, we had a contract for those first 3 sections.
And it was outline procedures for,
But generally, is everybody pretty happy with what's happening?
other than a few,
No.
to me, other than a few stones here and there that we need to bring to their attention.
Yep, okay.
mean,
I
think
know
it was
the
pretty-
time I went up there, because I went up there with Randy and talked with the guy. Not easy to talk to. You know, well, I've been doing this for years. I don't need to do this and all that. You know, whoa, you know, time out.
He feels
You know,
threatened. He feels threatened.
well, obviously, you know, but if you're not doing something, it's going to be brought to your attention. I don't care if you're threatened or not. That's ridiculous to think that,
That's why
you
he's
know.
reacted the way he is.
Well, you know, I mean,
We need
quit,
more. We need more.
okay?
But
You
we
know,
need
that
more.
doesn't bother me in the least, quit. More money we can save and find someone else who wants to do
Well,
it properly.
again, there aren't many people.
Well, I
that do it.
understand that, but, you know,
I
I
think
mean,
what we need to do is,
I don't want this person to think that, you know, he's the only person in,
Yeah.
you know.
But we got an
Maine.
agreement, we're gonna go
I
ahead
understand.
and we'll finish it out, and, there again, the biggest thing right now is getting up there to see if there's anything we need to have addressed, I mean, they did some stuff on that first section, they did last year. They went back and touched up some stuff, and they did a great job. You know, some of the piping around one of those stones, they reset all the, probably you guys don't like it very much, put those pipes back in and straighten it up, so you have to pick up a more, put it inside, but still, they did a nice job, so.
And then within a couple weeks of doing that, somebody drove in and knocked one of the corner pieces off and the pipe's down again.
Oh, really? I
And
haven't
they
seen
went
that.
back and fixed it again, but,
Yeah,
yeah.
okay.
You got big trucks in there, log trucks and all that, anything can happen at
Oh, yeah,
cemetery.
yeah.
I mean, you know that as well as anybody at this
Yeah.
point, you know.
Who's available next Monday, the 21st?
The 21st?
Yeah.
What time?
Good day. Just send out a reminder email.
Call Camden Glass, it probably won't affect that phone call.
I go to PT,
Time you thinking?
Oh, 9 or 10, something, something that the sun's up.
10 would be better,
10,
yeah.
10 would be better.
okay.
I go to breakfast at 9.
Oh, my God.
What is that schedule?
Retirement.
Oh, no.
Can we kind of limit it to like an hour?
Yeah,
I'm running out of fall to finish up fall work.
yeah.
I don't know that I can make it, I think I have
You gotta go.
physical therapy.
Most Greenville's got 5 to 8 inches of snow.
You want to do it later?
No, I don't know what my schedule is.
Okay.
You don't? Your boss,
I don't know.
your boss tells you, doesn't she?
Look it up on your phone.
Yeah, I do well to turn the thing on.
Well, we'll set it for 10,
Tell you, Monday,
Monday,
21st,
10 o'clock.
10 a.m.,
Wait a minute,
1
change it.
hour.
Squirmy,
well, I
wormy.
mean, if we have to stay longer, I mean, it's
Yeah.
not the end of the world. I'm just saying, if we can, that would be nice.
Yeah. And I got a picture of that material, it says just stone clean. Granite drip, for, said caution, acid mixture, no MSDS on it, no, if you get it in your eyes, call the physician immediately. Don't drink.
That's why I said it'll burn your eyeballs out,
Yeah.
I specifically
Yeah,
chose eyeballs.
yeah, don't drink it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay,
Quick question.
sure.
I guess it's for the select board liaison. I guess I don't know my status. And the only kind of thoughts that I have are typically, I guess, in these type of situations, the select board person liaisoning with the board chair on applications for people wanting to be on a committee to get a
You were
rec.
appointed in June, the spring.
Yeah, but it was a short,
You were,
wasn't it? I didn't watch the meeting, but I guess
No,
I'm.
so what
So I'm
happened,
not
I
sure
think, is that
what my status is.
no, we postponed the nomination of the cemetery association because there had been no advertisement of
Needing membership.
needing membership or just letting people know that if they're interested, they could fill in an application. I think we put it on the website and give more time, but I don't know what the deadline. what
well, we
deadline
did,
was
you, when you appointed Owen,
last year.
yeah, but it was like a 3-year term.
No.
No.
No, it was filling
It was
a,
like a
No.
1 year.
1 year?
Or something like
Okay.
that.
So-
Or complete a term or something.
Right.
I thought cemetery committee met at the cemetery, at the tomb, and Stuart Young expressed interest, cemetery committee
Yep.
voted to forward his name for appointment.
and the select board never acted on that,
But did we
and,
receive an application? Did he fill an application?
I don't know.
So that's, if he's interested, if anyone is interested, there's an application form that he can get on the website or ask Janice or Marlene to give to them.
My understanding is he did apply and came to our meeting, we met him.
we
I
recommended.
think I recommended he pull this application because he works for us.
Yeah.
What
He
difference
would
does it
stop by there the other day and help me take
It's
the
different
flags
because he's
down.
not part of the department that actually maintains this cemetery.
What difference would that make? He's a citizen.
I just think it could be a conflict of interest because he works in the cemetery sometimes.
And he works at the Snow Bowl, he works at the Village
I mean, I
Green
don't know if there's
Library.
not an issue and he still wants to do it, then we should, but I think it was, at the time, we might have thought it was a conflict of
Well,
interest.
so let him apply, and then we can take that with Bill Kelly and whatever, but let's follow the procedure, so that it's fair and square for everyone, and if there's an issue, well, we can explain to him that there's an issue.
Marlene, didn't you go through and do the list of?
Yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. I spoke to Janice today about it, and she said that they have posted and have put in the newspapers. Nobody has brought back an application. One person did take out an application, but it hasn't come back yet.
Now, how many vacancies?
There is two.
On the
Have you got when our terms are up?
Yeah, let me get that.
You anxious?
No?
And I'm happy to help
I've been in
out
town
where I
government in
can. If
Camden
there's
since
someone else
1961.
that it makes
In
more
one
sense,
form or
I
another.
don't, I mean, I want the best for the commission.
as long as I've been around.
Board.
Okay, I had it that Jeff Sufor, yours expired in 22,
This year?
and Owen, yours expired in 22.
But I filled out the application,
Yep,
and it's
Just,
No, but
yeah, just for the committee.
You have to make out an application to
Each time.
yeah.
each
Yeah,
time?
yeah, because then it gives the opportunity to other people to apply as well, and then the select board can review everyone. It's not a very long application.
I don't think, I've made it out, but I didn't think I made one out last time they renewed me.
Randy and Bob expires next year.
Renewed interest. It's renewed interest.
Right.
And Jeff and Chip is in 24. Jeff,
So-
Jeff Wayman.
So if we haven't received any new application, I guess we can review that at the next board meeting. Can you take it with Janet? Do you want me to do it?
I can,
You can do it?
yeah, I can do it, yeah. Awesome.
So when did it expire? The December,
June.
June of,
22.
Yours is June 30th, 23. Yours, Jeff, yeah, we have you until June 30th, 24.
God.
Unless I beat
I'll be
you.
up there.
You'll be up there. You'll be a permanent member. Here you go.
Okay.
Non-voting
Please
member.
don't rush, okay?
It's a bunch of non-voting members up there, right?
Yep. Oh, I don't know, maybe, depends.
You never know. Some can be very vocal.
Okay, the draft budget you gave us, that was, when does this have to be submitted to the select board, or?
I believe it's in, they started in.
February.
February.
March? Okay, good.
We start the budgeting process earlier because of the requirements for the ballots that include access for people with several handicaps. I can't remember.
Oh, the help agencies,
Provider agency.
provider agencies.
And I spoke with Jody today. Jody unfortunately is out with the flu. She's really sick. And she suggested maybe holding off on the budget where it's early.
Yeah.
Because some things that she
Oh,
don't
I just wanted to
have.
make sure we got it on there, we started thinking about it, so that we
I think
don't wanna hold up the front office. We
Yeah.
wanna- So,
If there's one suggestion I would make, I took a look at the budget, Chip, and I think, inflation is gonna be a bit higher than that, and electricity costs and things like that are gonna go higher. So you may wanna consider upping those,
okay,
just to be on the safe side.
yeah.
That's my only, and again,
Okay. Now, what do you think your budget's gonna be for next year?
same. Although Rochelle is requesting a piece of equipment.
Can I get two clarifications?
Sure.
Under grave sales, you have
Which one
a
you want, expenses or?
resident and a non-resident is listed. Who is a resident, town of Camden or? Yeah.
taxpayer, right?
Yep,
Jeff, no, that's not,
no, resident,
say
resident,
taxpayer, resident.
resident.
And the other question, it says 80% of the sale price is invested for perpetual care. Do we have a separate perpetual care account?
It goes into the trust account, endowment. We have the endowment fund.
But is that a separate for perpetual care?
That's what the whole fund is the whole thing. One for Mountain View and one for Oak Hill.
I'm asking for a specific reason, because my cemetery, we had our bylaws reviewed by a lawyer, and he was very specific about separating funds for operating cost of the cemetery and perpetual care. I just want to make sure that,
We do that, where we have the base funds, and then we have the income off those funds, and that's what we can use the income for our operating. That's part of the, Jody has that pretty well broken out. But what's happened is they pooled all these funds for the whole community on all the trust funds, and they get a ratio that they divide it out. Was it Aaron Davis?
RM Davis does.
Aaron
all
Davis
of
does a good job of separating it all out into each.
it. Actually, this year.
Yeah. Yeah, so, they do a pretty good job of that. But yeah, all the,
so basically, we do not have a separate account for perpetual care. Yeah. Just wanted clarification, that's all. Thank you.
we have, everything goes into that same account, and then we draw off that. I'm sure that, we got enough income in there that we can use. That was just audited a year or so ago, too. Yeah.
It's easier when I steal this information if I know it's clear in my mind.
That's right. So you're saying you purchase a new mower?
Yeah.
Is that something you do out of your budget, or we have to pay for it?
I think we've done it different ways over the past, last time we had cemetery purchase a mower. 5 years ago?
But at that time,
I'm
we
gonna
were getting funds from the town, too.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I believe 2020, we bought
Yeah,
one
yeah,
for Mountain View.
yeah,
Oh, one of the walkers?
Yes, yep.
yeah.
So the mowers and stuff that you use at the cemetery are designated just for the cemeteries?
We like to do that.
Yes, we do not use them. Right.
It'd be too hard to transport them back and forth and stuff.
No, just-
Well, we have one that we use, for the parks mowers, we use at Oak Hill.
Are we buying an electric mower?
No.
Are we considering?
I mean, there's always,
We should.
yeah.
I mean, generally, every time we buy pieces of equipment, we should always try to look at the cost, maintenance, benefit of electric. I mean, electrifying our equipment is the way we're going. I just saw the new electric truck that Chris Farley has.
That's a scary concept in itself. But
That is.
But this isn't a place for that conversation.
No, it isn't,
No,
but
it isn't, but when we're buying, I mean, that's what the town is asking, that's what the people on the budget committee were asking last time, that when we buy pieces of equipment, we should at least price out what the difference in cost between diesel or gasoline, whatever, conventional engines and electric ones. So we know.
did you get a price on a new battery for an electric car?
School bus.
A school bus, anything?
Yeah, we bought a school, actually, there's.
I know we
yeah.
got one.
Yeah.
But a battery replacement is over $800.
Yeah, but replacing cars and trucks, it costs money, it's maintenance. It's just, when you look at, for instance, not having to do oil change and all kinds of stuff, there is an advantage to moving to electric.
$300,000 school buses versus $100,000. You can do an awful lot of oil changes.
We can
That's
definitely,
right.
we can definitely price one out.
We
yeah.
can just look at it, it's, as you said, it's not place for conversation. But that's my request, that whenever we can, just look at it.
Absolutely.
I mean,
Yeah.
they have those Roomba mowers as well.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, is the
for cemeteries, it would be
Yeah,
awesome.
I wonder.
Yeah.
I mean, you still have to weed whack, but
Catch the bags.
they could
You
go
get
out.
electric weed whackers too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
That's-
electric weed whackers, yeah.
Yep. Yep. Okay. Okay, so we'll work on the budget for the next meeting. Maybe get Jody.
Do you want to do the meetings on next meeting
I got two of them. My
Yeah.
wife can't use
Yeah,
the
yeah.
gasoline, so I bought two battery driven ones. Trouble is, she forgets to charge the battery.
You have a,
On the next Monday, is there any point of noticing that as a meeting versus just a
no,
walkthrough?
it's a walkthrough,
Yep.
because it's inspection. Anybody's listening to, will know it, and,
Just
and
asking
welcome
the
to,
question for that.
just, it's basically just pre-walking it to make sure that they're doing what we want, so that when they submit their invoice, that we can have a pretty good indication on getting it approved.
Randy Akers, Byron drives the new bus, the electric.
Chip, is it all right to go ahead and
Byron
put rates
Payne.
on
Drives
Yes,
the
please do,
electric
please do.
school bus.
Get those ordered.
And he
and-
said
yeah,
if
yeah.
it's malfunctioning, when he has to stop on a hill, his door won't open. When he's coming down a hill, the door opens fine.
So,
What-
if you're going up a hill and you had an emergency, you can't get the.
January 11th?
My kids on board,
the, yep, 11, yep.
boy, that's a great selling point.
Yeah, they got a back door too.
Yeah, they got a back door. They got windows.
They're expendable.
Jetpacks.
I can say that, as my kids are in school.
Anybody have anything else?
Fixed, it's like, you know.
I like that.
Motion?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor, all those opposed, so voted.
One thing I
Well done, thank you. And thank you for always answering my questions.
Deputy Chief from Bridgewater, Massachusetts,